Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Sanju Maha. Today me and my group are going to present you about the IT guy problem where he has to face lots of unnecessary questions from his colleagues. A simple one like my screen is frozen or I can't reset my password or more like that, where he has to cope up with those problems as well as his project where it is going to be on the deadline. And now we are going to, in this video, we are going to present you about the agile methodology. So how he can cope up with his friend, how he can help his friend without being disturbed by in his own project, and he can finish it in the deadline. So by applying this agile methodology, there are lots of stakeholder that is being affected, like he can do his work, his friend can rely on him, and they can be get helped by him, and the manager, the upper level manager, they can't be get disturbed by okay, if he is being disturbed, then the project wouldn't be finished in the time. But after doing this agile methodology, after following this, he can complete his project in the deadline. So now today Ujjwal is going to describe about this agile methodology. Thank you.
Thanks Sanju for that great introduction. Hi, I am Ujjwal Podel and I'd like to talk about how we can create an easy agile process where we can implement new changes in a such way that our main project we are doing doesn't get interrupted and small issues are fixed themselves without any assistance. As this process should always be evolving based on the given feedback and changing requirement of a customer, there is need to come up with few solutions to mitigate these problems. We should always start small. First of all, sending a clear structure welcome pack for every employees, that is 20 employees, which would consist of every important information and FAQs that will help employees to try to fix the issue themselves. And furthermore, a brief training session and orientation program helping all the employees face to face, telling them how to fix any bugs and teaching them how to troubleshoot. That will be very helpful. And as we know that Agile is an iterative process, so getting feedback about how we did about the FAQs and orientation program is our topmost priority. That will help us to refine our process and make the process much better. And our estimate is to send a feedback after a month of a training session. And secondly, with regards to the frequent call of minor issues, a simple but elaborated automatic answering system will also be introduced. That will help any employees calling for any small issues like my screen is frozen, my internet is too low, and so on. And similarly, intelligent and creative way to help employees is to come up with a poster, sticker on the back of the wall, and even a computer. Additionally, that will help them to be aware of such issues and they will try to solve them. And the good way to monitor these things is to ask for feedback and a survey that will help to fix any underlying issues. Now there are still more couple of problems and solutions, and I would like to call Simranjit to explain more. Thank you.
Thanks, Ujjwal. Hi, I'm going to discuss further about the agile process and the new implement changes to avoid further delay of the project. Emergency services. If there is an absolute emergency and require assistance immediately, for example, if they are facing any security issues or their system has been crashed, they can contact team leader for immediate support. Another method we can implement is e-ticket system. If there are more than one emergency at once, they can be issued a digital ticket based on their priorities. Emergencies with high priority should get immediate assistance. For the simple issues like forgetting password, employees can do mobile authentication. If an employee forgets his or her password and got locked out of the system, He or she can do a mobile verification where they can get a unique code generated by an admin to their registered mobile number. By entering that code, he or she will be able to change their password. Another method we can implement is remote access software. Remote access software provides great efficient tech support. Admins can install remote desktop softwares like ConnectWise Control on all systems, which allows users to initiate screen sharing sessions from the central web application, which is a great tool to solve problems remotely. Thank you. My colleague Amar will explain about the business tools used in the agile process. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Simran, for introducing me. And my name is Amarpal Singh. My part of the job is to introduce you with some useful business tools. And there are 4 business useful tools I would like to specifically mention about. The first one is SAP. SAP is basically a reporting tool to you report the glitch in the system to IT employee or an IT administrator. With the help of this SAP system, you can IT employee can also set the set of instruction to use the basic guidelines for the system. And the other one is I would like to talk about the Dashlane. The Dashlane is a password management tool. In case of you forget the password, and IT employee can store the information and can check the information about the specific system about in the Dashlane. And Dashlane is very well known for its encryption, because its encryption is so strong, even the hacker can't steal your information. And the other one is Wireshark. Wireshark is a tool to capture the network traffic of the system. In case of system having glitch regarding the internet, IT employee can track how many packets or if there are any lost packages are going on the internet through the system. IT employee also can navigate if there are hacker in the system or there are intrusion in the system. IT employee can navigate or track such kind of activity through the Wireshark. And the other one is the TeamViewer. TeamViewer is specifically a very good tool if the IT employee can't reach the system and the system glitch have to be resolved in as soon as possible. But in that case, a TeamViewer help the IT employee to have the virtual access of the system. He can remotely access the system anywhere from the world, just with the help of the IP addresses assigned by this tool. And from here, I will give the presentation to the Uma Maheshwar. Thank you.
Thank you, Amar. Hi, my name is Uma Maheshwar. In my presentation, I'll focus on what is risk and risk management, then followed by the steps involved in the risk management, and lastly, a brief discussion on how we can avoid risk and minimize them. In general, the risk is defined as an uncertainty that can affect an outcome. Coming to the definition of risk management, in general, it is defined as the process of identifying, monitoring, and managing the potential risk to minimize the negative impacts in an organization. Some examples of potential risk include reputational, operational, and financial risk. Coming to the risk management process, there are 5 steps performed in more or less in the following order. Firstly, identify the threats. We need to be aware of our threats in our project. Secondly, analyze the risk. Thirdly, determine the risk, that is expected likelihood and their consequences. Fourthly, identify the ways to measure those risks. And finally, monitor and review the risk reduction measures. In our approach, we have identified 2 major risks. They are reputational risk and financial risk. Let us discuss briefly about each risk individually and how to mitigate them. Reputational risk is referred as a threat or a danger to the good name or standing of a business. These risks can occur either directly or indirectly, depending upon the actions of the company itself or due to the actions of an employee or employees. We can prevent this and minimize by considering reputational risk as a part of strategy and planning unit and understanding all the actions that can affect public perception and stakeholders' expectations. Then we have financial risk. It is the possibility of losing money in an investment and business venture. It is caused due to market movements and can include a host of factors. This can prevent by developing a solid plan and performing quality control tests on a regular basis to ensure that development is in line with their original goals. I would like to conclude by saying that risk is not a negative term. Instead, it can be treated as an opportunity for the company. I would like to call upon Sanju to wrap up the
Thank you, Ma'am. You might have got an idea till now that what we are planning to implement on the off company now. We are going to implement the help chart, which help the colleague to do their problem by themselves. We are going to make the fact documents. We have also been having an idea of making the ticketing system there, so that one by one the IT guy can go to them and solve their problem in the time frame. We are also thinking about the automation system, and this can possibly be helping the IT guy to do his work on his deadline and help the colleague. Thank you. If you have any queries, you are free to ask. Thank you.